Hello, everyone. Coming to you live on Christmas Eve just to share a quick video talking about death, grief, and the spiritual perspective on losing a loved one. We're going to really untangle grief in this video. I've gotten a lot of emails recently, and I know that a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing this holiday season differently. You're going to be experiencing this holiday season alone. And at the end, depending on if it's too far off track or not, I'll also go over navigating the holidays with estrangement. For those of you guys that it's almost like you've lost a loved one, even though they're still alive, I think that's really important to touch base on as well. So, death, grief, and the spiritual perspective on losing a loved one, okay? Grief is the most profound experience of a human being. It's raw, consuming, and often feels like a breaking of the soul. The loss of a loved one can leave us disoriented, questioning the meaning of life and grappling with the ache of absence. But in the depths of loss lies an invitation, one that asks us to reimagine what connection truly means and how we relate to those who are no longer physically here. For those of you guys that don't know, I am no stranger to losing loved ones. In fact, it's a consistent pattern in my life ever since I was very young. And it doesn't ever get easier. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say, hey, with year and as times go by, it gets easier. It doesn't get easier. But what does happen is your connection gets stronger. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So I've lost many loved ones throughout my life, but those experiences have taught me that death is not an end. It is a transition, a transformation of energy, a return to a realm our souls instinctively recognize. This understanding has been shaped by both my spiritual journey and my deep connection to the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. A resonance I attribute to the strong Scorpio energy in my chart. And what's interesting is a lot of Capricorns have actually emailed me recently. And Capricorns, you guys specifically right now, astrologically, you have Mars transiting your 8th house. The 8th house is the Scorpionic house of death, okay, and rebirth. So sudden accidents and things like that can occur during this time. And again, I send my love and condolences to everyone who is navigating this. It's definitely not easy, okay? So from a spiritual perspective, the physical absence of a loved one does not equate to the loss of their essence. Their consciousness continues to exist, transcending the human experience. While their form may no longer walk beside us, their energy remains intertwined within ours. This truth has brought me immense comfort and has reshaped my relationship with grief. The spiritual bond beyond death is when we lose someone we love, and the pain that we can feel is insurmountable. But what if we saw death as not a severance, but as a shift in how we connect? Instead of looking for their physical presence, we can learn to sense their energy, feel their guidance, and open our hearts to the ways that they still communicate with us. Through signs, dreams, sudden memories, or the unshakable feeling of their presence, these are all ways that our loved ones remind us that they are near. The challenge is not to dismiss these moments as mere coincidence, but to embrace them as sacred exchanges. Another way that my passed on loved ones consistently show up is they will flicker lights in the house. That is absolutely real. I will find feathers along my journey. I'll see synchronizations here. Like I always see my mother's death day and I always see her birthday. And those are synchronizations in my day-to-day life, along with, of course, 444. But, that's a common one. But I just go with the more uncommon ones, like seeing those days here and seeing that, she is with me and knowing that she is with me. The shift in perspective does not erase the pain of grief, but it allows us to carry our loved ones forward in a new way. Instead of focusing solely on their absence, we honor their continued presence in our lives. They live through us vicariously, and it's so important to honor that you are the walking vessel that they are vicariously expressing themselves through. They are with you, they don't leave us, and we're going to talk about this now. Healing through surrender and trust. Grief asks us to surrender, which honestly, when we're in the midst of it, makes me want to punch a wall. I don't know about you, but part of grief is feeling that anger, that sadness, that resentment, that guilt. We didn't say goodbye enough. We didn't tell them that we love them enough. We go through all of these whirlwind of emotions here. But what's important is to surrender to these emotions, okay? To let go of control, to sit with the ache, and to trust the unfolding mystery of life and death. It's not easy. Grief often brings us face to face with feelings of anger, guilt, or despair. But these emotions are part of the healing process, and through them, we can begin to find the seeds of transformation. Spiritual teachings remind us that the soul is eternal. Our loved ones who have crossed over continue their journey just as we continue ours. They become a part of our spiritual growth, offering lessons in resilience, love, and trust. Every tear shed, every moment of longing, every whispered prayer becomes a part of our journey toward understanding the interconnectedness of all things. So let's talk about transcending loss now. To transcend the loss of a loved one does not mean to forget them or to bypass the pain of grief. It means allowing the pain to transform into love. It means finding new ways to honor their memory and celebrating the profound impact that they had on your life. So consider creating rituals that help you feel connected to them. Light a candle in their honor, meditate with the intention of connecting to their energy, or speak to them as if they're still beside you. I am constantly lighting candles on my altar for my mother. I have everything. I've got her hairbrush. I've got her watch. I have her perfume. I created an altar with everything. I have her ashes, all of it, right? And I like to do that not just for my mother, for my aunt, for my grandfather, for my dog, for everybody that I have lost in my life. They're all on my altar. And my mother's birthday was just recently. It was December 19th, and today is the 24th of December. And so I went in with some flowers and a cupcake, and I lit some candles, and I sang to her happy birthday. I poured her a shot of her favorite alcohol, which I absolutely do not drink that brand of alcohol. That's disgusting. I don't like Southern Comfort. All right, but my mama did, and so naturally that's what I bought for her. And then I took a shot of my favorite alcohol, and I sat there at the altar and I just talked to her, and I cried, and we laughed. Me and my wife, we were just like laughing and talking, and it was just a normal time, like we were hanging out as if they were here, and because they were. And so those are ways that we can celebrate them and still bring them into our reality, okay? But finally, grief teaches us to embrace life more fully. It reminds us that our time here is precious and that the love that we share with others is the most profound gift of all. When we allow ourselves to lean into the mystery of death, we open our hearts to the beauty of life and all the eternal nature of the soul. If you are grieving, be gentle with yourself. Grief is not a linear process, and healing takes time. But trust that your loved one's essence remains with you, woven into the fabric of your existence. They are not gone, they are simply transformed, walking with you in ways that are subtle but deeply profound. If you can tell, I was really obsessed with the word profound. I think it's profoundly used numerous times throughout this context. All right, but anyways, so that's what I've got for the spiritual perspective here. It wasn't only, I didn't just feel compelled to share that with you guys because of the emails, but I also saw something in regards to it on Threads. And I was like, okay, this is it. I've seen it multiple times here. This is my time to share a different perspective because it's never easy. And I know it's not easy. Now let's talk about navigating grief and estrangement during the holidays. That's a different type of grief. It's not like we actually lost certain loved ones. But basically, there is really no difference. We're not talking or in communication with them. So the holidays can be especially challenging time when you're grieving or in a non-talking stage with a toxic family member. This season often brings societal pressure to connect, forgive, and celebrate. Messages that can feel overwhelming or even invalidating when relationships are fractured or painful. If you find yourself estranged from family this holiday season, know that it's okay to protect your peace. Setting boundaries with toxic relationships is an act of self-care, not selfishness. While the world may glorify the idea of family unity during this time, you are allowed to prioritize your emotional well being, even if that means stepping back from unhealthy dynamics. Grieving what was or what could have been is a whole category in itself. Estrangement brings its own kind of grief. It's not just mourning the absence of the connection, but also the loss of what you hope that relationship could be. It's okay to feel a mix of emotions, sadness, anger, relief, or guilt. These feelings are part of the healing process, and there is no right or wrong way to navigate them. It's also important to recognize that grieving estrangement is valid even if the relationship was toxic. You can miss somebody and still choose to maintain distance for your own well-being. Grief doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision. It's simply a reflection of your humanity and your capacity for love, even in difficult circumstances. It's time for you to create your own traditions. If estrangement or grief leaves you feeling isolated during the holidays, consider creating new traditions that bring you joy and meaning. This might include spending time with chosen family. So for those of you guys, I've got my kids, right? But I also got my best friends here. I've got friends that are going to be coming over on Christmas and stuff like that. It's chosen family, right? If you don't feel like you're surrounded by supportive individuals, that's okay. Use your resources for any online support. Reach out and create a community here. Wherever you see that there's something missing, that means that there's a need for it. And sometimes it's up to you to kind of create and fulfill that need. And that's kind of, use me as an example here. Where I step in today, I just don't really see people talk about this stuff because it's not love and light in the spiritual community here, or it's not going to catch the attention of a bunch of people, in a sense where I get to capitalize off of it and make a bunch of money off of a video. It's not clickbait, you know what I mean? And so in those cases, it's not going to gather a lot of attention here, which is the reason why the majority of people don't do it. They don't work from their soul anymore. They don't work from their heart anymore. I choose to, though. I can see where there's negligence, and even though it's difficult to talk about these things, and even though I'm not professionally, I don't have, my PhD just yet or anything like that to qualify me here. I am qualified through my own personal experiences, and that's where I'm sharing from. I'm sharing from my heart, I'm sharing from my soul, I'm sharing from my own personal journey. So if you can take something that helps you today, then that's a win in my book, okay? And that's all that matters to me. So create your own traditions here. Again, spending time with chosen family, volunteering, or even dedicating the day to self-care. Reclaim the holidays in a way that aligns with your values and nourishes your spirit. If you have passed on loved ones, this is a great time to also connect with your passed on loved ones, okay? Light a candle for them here. I decorated their altar this year, and, I put a lot of Yule offerings on the altar as well. Hold space for yourself. It's natural to feel waves of longing or sadness, especially when you see others celebrating with their families. Instead of resisting those emotions, try to hold space for them. Journal, meditate, or simply sit with your feelings without judgment. Remain neutral. Remain observant of these emotions and feelings, okay? You are not your emotions. Your emotions are being expressed, so they're not trapped within your body, and that is a beautiful thing that your body is doing that for you. Let yourself grieve what's missing while also acknowledging the strength it takes to prioritize your own healing. Try to find gratitude amidst the pain. Though it may be hard, finding small moments of gratitude can still help shift your focus during the season. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's a quiet morning, a comforting meal, or the support of a friend who truly sees you. Gratitude does not erase the pain, but it can offer a glimmer of light in the feelings of darkness. You are not alone. And if you are in this space, know that you are not alone. There are many who navigate the holidays with complicated family dynamics and feelings of loss. Your worth is not defined by who shows up for you or who doesn't. This season, give yourself the gift of grace. It's okay to grieve, it's okay to rest, and it's okay to celebrate in your own way. You deserve love, peace, and joy, whether or not they come from the family that you were born into or raised by. And honestly, that's just the quick video that I have for you guys today. I am going to go spend the day with my kids. Honestly, just watching Christmas movies, cookies, you know, the whole shebang here. And I just wanted to lead as an example that even though it's hard for me because I don't have who I want most here, of course, I have my wife and I have my children, and I'm so blessed and so grateful in so many means, but I don't have my mom. I don't have family. I don't have a father. I don't have these things, and it makes it hard every single year. But I want to lead by example and remind you that you get to create the tradition. These energies live through you and with you. So celebrate in a way that makes you happy. And even if you start crying, that's okay too. I cry all the time. I've been crying on Christmas since I was a kid, man. I always have. My wife apparently always had to as well here. So we call Christmas the crying day. Yeah, but I just send you guys so much love. And I wanted to be a pillar of strength this year because I haven't been able to be that in previous years. I feel like I'm doing a lot better this year. And when it comes to my mental space and having fully integrated and processed and seeing this in a higher perspective, but this is the first year of fully seeing this in this perspective. And I'm a firm believer on sharing my message and not my mess. So I hope that this helps the right people today. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support. No matter what circumstance you're in, even if you're in a very loving, happy, chaotically filled environment with so many gifts and so many blessings here. I love you guys. I love each of you. It doesn't matter what your life looks like. And I'm so grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for all of the support. And thank you for everything. I will see you guys after Christmas for the remainder of the Zodiac videos this week and other topics of discussion. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.